At the beginning of every week, in the crypt in St Andrew's Church in Redruth, they offer free cooked breakfasts. It's a simple ritual in a warm room, but essential, we're told, by many we meet here. How important is this for you on a Monday morning?
Oh, very important to a lot of people, yes, especially the old age pensioners, and a lot of the boys here are homeless as well. So, it's a lifeline for them, really.
How are you finding cost of living at the moment?
Tough. Yeah, it's tough, isn't it?
Morning.
Can you tell me what it feels like to be able to come into a place like this and get a cooked breakfast for free?
Brilliant. It's lovely, and my kids love it as well.
Roxy Bolton is a single parent of 5. She's living in emergency accommodation and struggling to make the benefits she receives cover her bills. What are you worried about spending money on it?
The fresh produce is more expensive than anything else, which is really annoying because I like to feed my children lots of fruit and vegetables, and that's the most expensive thing. Frozen food, you can go into Iceland and get a pizza for 99p, but I don't want to feed my kids pizza every day. I want to feed them nutritious meals every day.
When the Labour government came in, we had great expectations for improvement.
It didn't materialise.
And instead of that it's got worse. I thought for a start I voted for a government that socially looks up to the people.
They would say you've got to give them a bit of time.
Give them a bit of time.
Yeah, I know.
They didn't take long to pull away the winter fuel allowance, did they? They did it within about 2 weeks, I do remember.
A policy which directly impacts one of the volunteers here, Mary Harris. She just misses out qualifying. How much of a difference will that make to you, losing the winter fuel payment?
Well, I just won't be able to have my heating on so much. I mean, I don't have it on a lot now, but come the winter, then I should just be wrapped in a blanket.
It is a county wrapped in glorious coastline, but one harbouring pockets of deep inequalities. And for parts of Britain, such as here in Portreath, dependence on seasonal work, as this chef tells me, comes fraught with its own challenges.
You want to live down here, but it's very hard to survive. A lot of big firms down here don't want to go past 0-hour contracts, don't want to pay people at the off-season, so you'll get 40, 50 hours in the summertime. Come winter, you're down to 20, 25 hours.
I think people don't realise what it's really like to live here. It's very beautiful to visit, and it is beautiful. But the house prices, rent prices are crazy compared to the wages.
4 miles away in Campbell, in another church hall,
1, 2,
we meet young parents like Brooke Perry. She works part-time, her partner full-time, and yet she says,
we're struggling, and for the wage that he's on, we shouldn't be struggling considering we're only renting a 2-bed flat. Pretty much every month it's just paying the food, shopping and the bills and everything, and after that there's not really a lot left. Yeah, I would 100% say that this is more difficult than I ever imagined it being.
we've got a budget coming up. What would you like to see from this budget?
I think they should change the 2-child benefit cap. That would make quite a difference to a lot of families, I think.
And you have 3 children, so you're directly impacted.
Yes. And there are people worse off than myself, so I appreciate that makes quite a difference.
Ben Quick, who works part-time, is a teacher, so is his wife. Their mortgage costs went up over £400 a month, he says, after their fixed rate ended.
As teachers, we feel like we should be regarded as having a professional salary, and 2 of us are working, so how other families locally, where the average salary around this area is about 20,000, how they're surviving, I'm not really sure, because we struggle to break even on a reasonably good salary.
Survival for some comes in the shape still of Britain's ubiquitous food banks. Just up the road in Camborne, again in a church, a small child quietly helps his parents gather up tins of donated food. The factors driving such demand, complex and varied. In Levi Lee's case, a mother of 4 and part-time waitress, it involves problems with universal credit payments. Are you finding it as hard now as it was a year ago, or harder?
No, harder. So much harder.
because everything's going up, wages then go up, but then on top of that, everything goes up again. So it's hard to keep up with the rising cost of everything. It's just, a struggle, real struggle.
And your children, you've got 4 children?
Got 4 children, yeah, so, which, again, they grow so quick. I don't know how to put clothes on their backs when there's not enough coming in. It's, difficult.
In its manifesto, Labour pledged an end to such mass dependence on emergency food parcels, calling it a moral scar on our society. Where will that aim now sit within next week's budget, along with all the other myriad demands of those still finding it hard to make ends meet? Among them voters in constituencies like this who ousted the Tories for Labour on the promise of meaningful change.